Well, it's been a busy week online with South Africans sharing their thoughts on various issues. SABC digital news producer Tshepiso Moche tells us more. Ben?
Let's look at what has happened online this week. But first, social media trends with Tonya Kuri.
This week, Sonar took a well-deserved first place with both the Sonar debate and Sonar reply happening this week. The EFF walked out when Gordhan spoke. Aren't we bored yet of this walkout story? I think the EFF need to come up with something new, and my sentiments are what is expressed in social media as well. Bafana made their way to AFCON and was smashed by Ivory Coast. The nation wasn't even surprised. In fact, their net sentiment is one of the highest because we laughed at a great deal at the performance and how we all knew that they were going to lose. State capture inquiry was fascinating. This testimony from BNP Capital and SAA certainly left people startled. Mahlangu himself couldn't get a sentence straight, and a bit like Claudia Motsaneng, he kept referring to himself in the third person, which made it difficult for both the judge and the prosecutor. The public protector's probe into Ramaphosa and the $500,000 Bosasa payment kept her in the charts this week. She certainly got her sights on the president, and the president is cooperating, so we'll see how that story pans out. Then there was a fire at the SABC, caused havoc and speculation also about the broadcaster, putting it in 5th position. Praveen Gordhan, outside of Sonar, made headlines as he slated corporate South Africa for being as corrupt as the stories we are hearing about the ruling party. Gordhan came out punching, stating that harsher penalties should be handed to consultancy and auditing firms for their contribution to the state capture issue. The Daily Maverick launched Business Against Corruption, where many voices commended whistleblowers and lamented about people like KPMG in particular. KPMG came back to say that they were putting measures in place to avoid the situation arising again, which the media didn't accept as a good enough statement. A viral video of a pastor in an EFF cap being subjected to racist slurs and physical abuse made a big impact this week as our country laments that racism is so alive and well in 25 years after democracy. Some thought April Fool had come twice this year, as we read headlines that Zuma will in fact attend the Zondo Commission in July. I think most people had to read those headlines twice. I certainly did.
And now, let's look at the top stories on the SABC News website as liked by users. The story about the National Assembly Speaker Thandi Modise's warrant of arrest, which was put on hold, pulled traffic to the SABC News website. Also, the story about 2 videos of prisoners and warders engaging in illicit behavior at the Durban-Westville prison dominated on the SABC News website. This week, news that a total of 400,000 looted from the Northwest government and allegedly used to pay for the ANC's 104th birthday celebrations pulled traffic to the SABC News website. And despite making history for being the first Khoi praise singer to usher in President Cyril Ramaphosa before his State of the Nation address, Bradley Van Seters has been accused of speaking nonsense during his praise singing. And finally, the story about Sardines Run attracting tourists while boosting the economy of the area also dominated on the SABC News website. And now, let's look at the tech news for this week. On Wednesday, the South African Banking Risk Information Center released the results of its 2018 crime statistic. And according to the results, incidents of the digital banking fraud soared in 2018. Digital crime as a category includes digital, mobile, and app banking. SABC found that reported incidents of digital banking crime grew by 75% to 23,466 between 2017 and 2018. Criminals are increasingly using complex ploys to steal money from unsuspecting customers. About 262.8 million was lost to digital fraud in 2018 when compared with 250.5 million in 2017. South Africans lost a total of 129 million to online banking fraud in 2018. Phishing, vishing, and email hacking or business email compromise have been cited as the most prominent fraud types affecting the digital banking space. SABC has these tips for people when using ATMs. To always follow the instruction on the ATM screen carefully and only punch in your PIN number when requested by the ATM, and to report suspicious items or people around ATMs to the bank. Also, to choose familiar and well-lit ATMs where one is visible and safe, and to report any incident regarding ATMs to the bank or by calling toll-free numbers displayed on the ATM screens. That's all for you looking to cyberspace for this week. For SABC News, I'm Tshepiso Moche in Johannesburg.